Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Red for Anfield Index. Could it be the day? We are not talking about anything to do with Jesus. We are, of course, talking about the Premier League, the chance to win number 20. Almost salivating just saying it, people, but could today be the day that Liverpool are crowned Premier League champions for the 20th time? I'm your normal host, Dave Davis, coming to you from a nice Edinburgh. It's just nice. Everything's just nice, isn't it? It was nice that I was able to have a cream egg for breakfast. It was nice that I have a chocolate orange already. I've smashed it in half and some of the segments have gone. It's chocolate for breakfast day. If you can't have it now, you're never going to have it, people, are you? But it's nice ultimately because of this, the potential to take number 20 today. And when I put it up on the screen there, it is just a thing of beauty, isn't it? There's no two ways about it. It is potentially a Super Sunday, the definition of it. Earlier on in the day, or a few hours from now, Ipswich will play Arsenal, a 2:00 kickoff. We will see what that brings. If, and it's a huge if, Ipswich win that means when Liverpool face Leicester, the King Power Stadium at 4:30, they will go into that game knowing full well they could be crowned champions. It's a massive thing to say, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant to say. And yet, one scour of social media, one speaking to people about it genuinely, it seems pretty unanimous. It might not be what people actually want. Some Liverpool fans, and I get this, I get it as I'm saying it, don't want Liverpool to win the Premier League today. What they want is for us to relegate Leicester today. Because let's be honest about how we feel around Leicester and their fans, the clubs, the things they chant about. We'd love to be the one today. Of course we are. Never mind just winning for us, but relegating Leicester. That would be a huge positive. But if you're deadly honest, a lot of Liverpool fans are looking ahead to this. A lot of people, mates that I speak to, I go to the game with, are saying, yes, win Leicester today, but, and I get this, win it in front of your own fans. Have that experience. Spurs are in the semi-finals of the Europa League. They will be sending kids, ultimately, to Anfield because this game is a few days before their first leg against Bodo Glimt, or whatever it's called, the Norwegian team in the semi-final. A lot of people want to do it that way. And I get it. It may be as the best just in terms of the storyline and how you want it. Relegate Leicester the week before and win it at Spurs. So I understand why a lot are facing into this. But the riches we can achieve today, number 20, let's not undersell that for 1 second, can be got. And people, started to comment as well. Tygo Powell, they're saying it's the double bonus of relegating Leicester and winning the league sounds pretty awesome. The whole game against Spurs could then be a celebration. Yeah, I would understand that completely. Let's just see what today's game at 4:30 brings. And there is a good lesson. You should always take lessons from history. It is Daily Red, so it's worth talking about articles that are out there. Chris Bascom's done one for The Telegraph, speaking to Ian Rush and Gary Gillespie, where they're recalling Liverpool's 1990 title triumph, and their advice to players and fans is to soak up every single second this year. It's sound advice from history. Just for all the things that we talk about of the summer, contracts, transfers, all those bits, which are completely relevant. It's not dismissing those at all. Don't miss the ultimate glory as we wind towards that. That is important to say. But whether you want to win it today, whether you want to win it at Spurs, it is coming. But yeah, you need to clear your schedule for the afternoon. I've already told the wife, if Ipswich win, I am heading to town. We'll see if I need to sort a train later on. But anyway, the game today, which is absolutely huge. I mean, you expect us to win, don't you? It's all about the lineup you think we're going to put forth. I actually think it's quite predictable in some areas. It's Alisson, Van Dijk, Canate, Robbo, and Bradley at right back. I think that's easy to predict. I think it's easy to predict the midfield of Grav, McAllister to Bosley. I absolutely think that's easy to predict. Salah's going to be on the right. Luis Diaz is going to be playing in one of the positions. The only thing I think that's unpredictable is it Jota or Gakpo. And I think it'll be Gakpo on the left, Diaz in the middle. That is exactly how I see it rolling out. But it wouldn't surprise me if Jota starts as well. Luca saying there, yeah, of course it is Luca, potentially relegating Leicester, and maybe getting El Kanous from them. Very possible. We did look at him at transfer market metrics. Maybe a little bit early, but if Liverpool are looking at a bargain signing, that's possible. But ultimately today, I am going for a 2-0 victory with Mo Salah to score. That is my prediction for today. We will see what unfolds later on, after we watch the early game relaxed at Portman Road. Other news that's coming out today, if I take a look at Anfield Index and what's on the site, there seems to be a bit of a right-back focus. Conor Bradley opens up about his title dream. So he did an interview where he's talking about how he's always supported Liverpool, looking forward to this. Of course he is. Very well played, Conor. Set to be the first choice right-back, looking for a new contract, quite rightly, with 2 years left to go as well. They're in the midst of negotiating that. We know that he has turned down an offer from Liverpool. We'll see if anything gets sorted for who you suspect, whether you agree with it or not, is going to be our first choice right back. Another name that I won't get too carried away with, I have to be honest on this, and for everything that was discussed yesterday after, I never thought I'd be talking about Anfield tour guides, Trent Alexander-Arnold. And people jumped on that saying, I wonder, I think it will. People were like, it's a blag account. It really split the fan base, really pulling on hopes, people trying to manifest things as well. I've got Cy Brundish's tweet on screen there. So shout out to Cy, what he put. He kind of put what I'm thinking a little bit. Trent isn't staying. The club and his agents have deployed a strategy to mitigate fans' negative reaction so he can still play. Now, we know Trent is back in the squad for today. We're fully expecting to be on the bench, really, aren't we? I do think this is a bit of a strategy, probably a good word from Cy there. It's all done to mitigate the sentiments of how a lot of people are understandably feeling about Trent. It does get him back in the squad before the end of the season, but ultimately, similar there, I think it's done. I think it's all sorted. I know people will be saying, what about yesterday and the tour guide? I do think it's just a bit of a blag. It's great timing, isn't it? In a way, to just shift the focus. Bit of a Kansas City shuffle, as it were, there. But I think Trent's gone. That's my honest take. And it's probably wise in that sense for Conor Bradley to be focused on or talking about his dream, his future at Anfield, as that contract negotiation comes up towards renewal. We'll see what develops on both those things. We won't have to wait long to find out, surely. Other players have been speaking. Dominic Szoboszlai was talking, and that's an interview from the official site as well. But he's been talking about the mindset and how there's absolutely no drifting towards number 20, anything. It's just a focus on Leicester. I get why he says that. I completely understand that. Do you believe it? Of course you don't. If Liverpool will be aware what the Ipswich result is, make no mistake about that. They'll be fully aware as they step onto that field how Ipswich Arsenal has gone and whether they can win number 20. The players will have zero doubt about that. They'll be informed, but they've just got to do their job, haven't they? Just got to do it and see what develops from there. But you still fully expect them to win. And Dominic Szoboszlai talks about the mindset. So well worth a read before the game. Other things that are mentioned, ladies and gents, little bits around, say, players linked with us over the last few days even, sorry, things that are coming up. And we've talked there about the right back situation. Let's talk about the player on screen, because there's quite a lot of reports around Nicolo Ravella, the Juventus / Lazio midfielder. I'll explain why that's the case. Very good on the ball. And as it says on the screen there, passing stats to rival Zubimendi. This one wouldn't surprise me at all. And doing some digging, as we always do at Anfield Index, absolutely a player that Liverpool have watched. Doesn't mean it will happen. There's other things that have got to be lined up. Does not mean he's a top target at all. But it is one of those when you hear a name, makes a lot of sense. And if you talk about the numbers to start with, because people will say, oh, Lazio have got an obligation. So for those that know him, he is currently a Juventus player on a 2-year loan at Lazio. An option to buy or an obligation to buy, as people are putting it, 17 million euros. So that's going to be an absolute bargain for Lazio there. A lot of speculation as well that when that's done, he will have a £50 million release clause. Now, there's a few things to say about this player just in terms of the money side. 50 million euro release clause, so about 42 million quid. You could easily see Liverpool doing that for a 23-year-old Italian international with the background, with the quality, the skill set this boy has got. We had a brief look at him yesterday, but just for those that missed it, I mean, tackling 86th percentile, interceptions 92nd percentile. Insane stats, they really are, compared to other players. You know, if you look at FB Ref, Caicedo for a start, Paredes, Grav, all those types of things. But also, look at those passing metrics. I mean, pretty much 71 passes attempted per game. That puts him in the 91st percentile. Pass completion, 89.3%, in the 88th percentile. This is a midfield that tackles, intercepts, and metronomically passes the ball. If you've watched Lazio's games, even when they went out against Bodo in the quarterfinals, but if you watched a few of them like I have this season, could see us being all over this boy. And at that price, would be very surprised if we're not in the mix at all. So just one to keep an eye on before people just say, oh, he's definitely going to Lazio. Well, yes, it's that obligation, but one very much to watch there. And people asking there, shout out to Owal saying, you're wearing a candy top? Of course I am. Why wouldn't you be wearing retro gear from seasons where we won the league? Why wouldn't you be wearing a cap for the skipper who may be told he's a champion today and lifting number 20? Not going to lift it today, obviously. That's the last day of the season, but could be told that. It's just, it really is all a positive day aside from the Easter eggs. Other stories on Anfield Index as well. I mean, Hugo Ekitike. This is a player that splits the fan base. A lot of people saying, and I get this, an FSG style signing will be all over us, the fee, the age, and all that, the metrics. And when you look at certain things, you look at him and you say, yeah, 18 goals, 8 assists across the Bundesliga in the Europa this season. A lot of green there, isn't there? We've previewed him before, but, you know, just shy of 4 shots a game on average, nearly 4. A lot to like. A lot to like between the lines. Pace, as we did him when we ran them on TMM. Electric. Raw attributes, yes. And that for me is the key phrase. Raw attributes. There's a couple of things now that have got to be called out solidly on Hugo Ekitike in the Bundesliga. So if you look at the way that's analysed, as we always say on transfer market metrics, 0.4. or 0.84, sorry. So you'd have to take away about 16% of his metrics. So bring that into the mix. That's the first thing to say. The second thing to say, €100 million price tag. So around, 80 odd million. Not a chance Liverpool are doing that. If that is the true price tag right now for Hugo Ekitike, you can rule them out straight away. If there's €100 million for Hugo Ekitike, forget it. And the other thing to consider in the mix is Eintracht Frankfurt, Marcus Krocher. All the chips are on their side of the table currently because they're cash rich for the sales they've done over the last few years, like Muani, and now look who's just gone from January. He's at City, isn't he, Marmoush? A big fee. And actually, it's maybe a good barometer that if you think of the fee, which was a big fee that Marmoush fetched, very good player, doing very well at City. But if I look and I see 6 goals in 11 games and where he fits in, he was probably Frankfurt's best player, wasn't he? If that is a true fee, €100 million for Hugo Ekitike, Liverpool will have deleted him or will be deleting him off the list. And also, the other element to mention, the Frankfurt curse. Luka Jovic, Muani, others who I probably can't think of off the top of my head. They're well known, aren't they, in that regard as well? People will not ignore that at the same time. This may be, if it's true, a name we delete off the striker target. So we'll see what bears out with that. Those are, though, your main stories that are doing the rounds today currently on Easter Sunday. Always worth bringing it to you as well. What's the content that we have got? We have got you absolutely covered from now until kickoff, even just in the last 24 hours, the last day. So there's a bit more to watch. You released it. Trev and Jan Molby talking about the Van Dijk deal and the squad plans. Me and Bart got you a 2-parter there where we looked at Dean Huijsen and the impact potentially. There is that worry that he's starting to develop. He might just be a Konate replacement. That's not what anyone wants. We want him on top of Konate, but we have that strong concern right now, don't we? This is what I think some people want, some people definitely don't. But we ran him against Jarell Quansah, and people just commented on this without reading, listening. It's not saying Quansah's a bad player. He's got a large fan base, homegrown, all that. I totally get that. Dean Huijsen's a better centre-half. There's absolutely no doubts about that at all. I think if they can do that, a deal where Huijsen comes in, Quansah will be the one to go. And I know a lot of people talk about Joe Gomez and wanting to sell him, but we'll have an update around that on the transfer show as well. So well worth a listen, if we do so say ourselves, before kickoff. Other things you can see there. Grizz and Gags talking about the VVD situation, talking about this. Could it be a title weekend? So plenty to listen, even in the run-up to today. Lives for you. You've got Jack and the watch-along later on. That's available for you. Gag, straight after, will be doing his fan reaction show as normal. Straight afterwards as well, the Raw Boys will be on. Trev, Dave, the usual crowd, talking about, hopefully, what is a huge game, a huge victory. What could it mean? Salivating at the prospect. Neil saying there, let's just get our work done. And that's a fair sentiment, Neil, because for everything we talk about, it's about this game today, isn't it? 4:30 at the King Power Stadium. And the reason we say that is if Ipswich beat Arsenal and if Liverpool beat Leicester, Liverpool will be crowned champions. Number 20 could be coming home today. Crazy to say, brilliant to say. We will have to see what develops this afternoon. And I get it. There's some of you saying it in the chat panel, some of you feeling it. No, I want to win today. I want to relegate Leicester. Yes, I want to win it next weekend at Spurs in front of our own crowd, just to have that moment, that let off at full time. I completely understand that as well. All you can really say, people, is what a position to be in. All I can say is that on Sunday, the 20th of April, enjoy your Easter Sunday, enjoy your Easter eggs, enjoy time with the family. Let's hope we're enjoying today a victory, and we will see what that brings. But on Easter Sunday, that was another Daily Red for